guys, this is just a quick tutorial video on how to make the rocket ship. So the first thing that you probably want to start with is the painting side of things, just to get things moving along. So this is the color change paint. It's actually color change nail polish. And so obviously we're just going to leave them as is like this for the craft. So they've got a little brush inside them. So you just want to get the kids to paint this. Hopefully I can go as quickly as I can. Sometimes it's nice to add 2 layers, but the effect is still there with just one. It obviously just looks more finished off with another layer, but I don't think that we will have the time for them to do 2 layers. So I would say that we're probably just going to stick with the same color per session if we can, in terms of this polish, but obviously try to get them to spread it as evenly as possible and no big clumps. Now what I have got this time is hair dryers that we've got a 1 plug point there, so this will really make a difference with regards to getting them dry, and also it's sort of the fun part. So I'll just show you now drying that. So I've got it obviously on one of those bamboo skewers as well. I'm hoping nothing else blows away when I do this. So you'll watch as it dries, it actually changes colour. Now we know it's dry, and it was rather fun to watch that. So this does get quite hot. You'll watch it change back as it gets to air temperature again. It changes color back in. So that was quite hot, that hairdryer. So it's definitely something for you to hold and do, and not the kids. So they can give it to you one by one and you can dry them. It doesn't take long, it takes a couple of seconds, as you saw. But now this is ready to be made into a monster. So I would just get them to put that aside, take it off the stick and go put it aside. And they're then going to start their next painting, which is this egg. So we have got these little, they're actually like makeup brushes for them to paint with. If you're finding that it's actually too slow, we can switch to sponges. So just obviously we'll wait your feedback on that. So this they're just going to paint with normal paint. So it is quite important that they don't use that the nail polish one for this, just because it will not last long enough then, because this is a much bigger area that they can paint. So you know, it might be a little bit of smart thinking with regards to how you do the painting part of the crafting. It might be that one of you sort of stays at the dryer, and one of you is at the tables helping the kids get the paint on, and then they walk over to the other person to get it to dry, because it's just useful even just to get that paint to dry quickly, because we can do it again for this one as well. So I'll do that quickly over here. Not completely dry, but I'm just going to leave that to the side to dry while we carry on with something else. They can actually pop it inside their rocket shell if they need to do that, if they need something for it to hold on to. Okay, so once that sort of painting is done, there's one more thing to paint, and that's the little person. So, but just before they come and craft, I would draw on a circle. Oh, that's a really bad circle. Just so that they know not to paint inside the circle. Now this little guy, I definitely wouldn't use the hairdryer for him. He can get painted and then he can just get set, or he or she could get set aside. So, you know, the important thing to paint is really just their helmet part, but this is where those little sponges come in really useful in terms of paint. In terms of it not getting too messy, the other thing that could be quite cool is just to stick to one paint color maybe per table, or 2 paint colors, so that the kids aren't using multiple colors all over things and just getting it a real messy. If you're sort of dealing with the same paint color, then it's a little bit easier. So yeah, they can go ahead and paint all the way down if they want, but the main thing is to get his little astronaut helmet done. So I'm not going to finish him off there. You guys get the general idea in terms of painting, and he can just stand and dry. He doesn't need to be hair dried. So the things that we really want to hair dry is actually just the color changing paints and a little bit of the egg potentially, but again, the egg can also just you can see how it goes, and you can leave that to dry. Okay, what they're going to do next, so each of them are going to get one of these, okay, and they also get, no, I need to move my egg out their way, one of these. So this is like a docking station for them. They can decorate that afterwards if there's time, but that's a docking station, and it actually rests inside there because of the light at the bottom. It needs somewhere to rest, and so it rests inside there. So that if you pop those onto their each of their place settings beforehand, just pop it into that, and then you don't need to worry about it trying to stand up, or you could put it the other way, I guess, if you needed to start off with, but that's what it is, the docking station. So for this part, they've got some paper that's got a little pre-decorated stuff on. So the way it's supposed to go on is that the clouds are supposed to go around the flame, so like this and that way around, but it really doesn't matter if they put it on the wrong way. It's not a big deal. You can tell them that obviously that the clouds are supposed to go around the frame, and so it's just double-sided tape to come off. I can't remember what I sent you guys, but seal that on there, and then we go over it like that and just seal. So it's really quick and easy. They can of course color this in if they wanted to do that first, but this is a really nice easy way to just cut down the craft time, because we've only got 30 minutes for the craft. So once that is done, then we're just literally putting the egg on top. Okay, and then, oops, I have not let that dry properly, and then it can sit inside the docking station. So now the last bit is to actually just do the wings. So we're just going to use our lovely craft glue, which is really sad, but I can't get it anymore, so I'm going to have to work out a new glue for us. So just pop a little bit of glue along here. I did not check that this was ready to go before the video. So a little bit of glue along the side here. Obviously it is a little bit tricky, but as we know, this glue works really well. And then just take that out, and then they can actually glue that onto a side of their rocket like this, so they can just get that to dry, and then the same on the other side. It might be easier to just do a line like this and then stick it on. So that just needs a little bit of resting time, obviously, before they start playing with it to dry. So once that is done and their man is painted, they can then move on to doing their monster. So this is going to be the color changing monster. Now it should, depending on how cold or hot it is, it should change color in their hand. It just depends on how hot you are or how cold you are. Sometimes it doesn't work at all for me, and sometimes it does. So it just depends on the heat in your hands, but it should change color. So they're going to make this into a little monster. They've got a little glitter circle. You should have got that in your kit as well. Just pop on the bottom just to give him an ability to stand without falling over. And then there's pipe cleaners. So they should just have short pieces of pipe cleaner. So they should have pieces this size to go for, and literally they can decorate it however they want. So we could put one in here and then stick a googly eye on to be our monster. This design is really nice.